Welcome everyone to my weighted Fusion Cup video, and in this video I am going to go through my team, my movesets I used and my thought process I used to complete a 7-0 sweep in the largest tournament in Bangladesh. And I apologize beforehand for the bad audio quality because my microphone it ran out of charge and I need to replace the batteries, but too lazy to do so, so bear with me. I decide to go with triple steel here with Escavalier using counter aerialist Mega Horn, Poliwrath, Mudshot, Ice Punch and Dynamic Punch, Bronzong, Confusion, Psyshock and Bulldoze, Empoleon with Waterfall, Hydro Cannon and Flash Cannon, Noctowl using Wing Attack, Sky Attack, Nightshade, Shiftry with Snarl, Foul Play and Leaf Blade. Now let's get into round number 1. Round 1 versus Deep Shore. I take Bronzong for his Noctowl, Victreebel, Poliwrath and Wigglytuff. That's 4 mons, and Crosslash and Seismitoad gives me problems, so I take Shiftry and Noctowl. Seismitoad has Earth Power and Sludge Bomb. It can't hit Noctowl hard, and Frostlass is a problem, so I take Shiftry with energy advantage. It can beat Frostlass. So let's begin. I lead with Bronzong and he leads with Frostlass. This is a losing matchup. Frostlass can just go straight Shadow Ball for the KO, but in 2 shield scenario Bronzong actually wins because of the confusion damage. It can confusion down Frostlass. I decide to shield the Shadow Ball and go for Psyshock. He shields. Now I know he's going to go for Shadow Ball the next turn, so I decide to switch the instant he reaches Shadow Ball. So what I actually do here is I count up to 6 Powder Snows. The 7th is going to be Shadow Ball, and I switch on the 6th and catch the charge move. And I Wing Attack down his Frostlass. Now his Frostlass is gone. And he has his own Noctowl. Bronzong can take care of that. And now even if he has Seismitoad in the back, I have Shiftry for that. But Seismitoad does have Sludge Bomb, and Sludge Bomb can one-shot Shiftry. I decide to let my Noctowl go. It has done its job. Now I can come back with my own Bronzong and get energy advantage or KO his Noctowl. I go for Psyshock. And I can confusion down his Noctowl now. Now nothing from Noctowl with one-shot Bronzong. Nightshade does quite a bit of damage, but at this health it won't KO, so I don't shield. Now he has Seismitoad in the back. I knew he was going to bring Seismitoad, so I switched to Shiftry. And I just get to Leaf Blade, but I don't know what actually happened here. Now this tournament, this attack weighted CMP tie was already live, the CMP tiebreaker, so Shiftry has quite a bit of attack to it, and it usually does get the CMP now. Very few mons have more attack than Shiftry. Now second match, I go with the same team but I switch up my leads. and I lead with Noctowl and I face Frostlass. This is a hard losing lead. One avalanche will basically one shot Noctowl, so I have to switch. But I decide to burn his shield here. He goes for avalanche. Now I go for Nightshade. I go for Sky Attack. Now I knew he was going to shield because Nightshade is going to one-shot Frostlass or put it in dangerously low. So again I am thinking to switch, and I switch before the 6th Powder Snow, and I catch the avalanche with my Bronzong. But still he goes to his Seismitoad. I get to a Psyshock. Now Earth Power is going to it's going to KO Bronzong at this range. He goes for, it's probably going to be an Earth Power, and I don't shield. I haven't faced a Seismitoad before, and I didn't know that Sludge Bomb was that quick. I was facing some lag here, so I switched to my Shiftry, and I thought I was going to be able to farm a little bit more, but I can't. He goes for Sludge Bomb, I shield. Now here I go for Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade KOs Seismitoad. It is a Mud Boy, it's quad weak to grass. Now he goes to his own Noctowl, and I switch to my own Noctowl. I should have probably foul played that Noctowl. Then I might have been able to KO it with my own Noctowl. I am not sure what I could have done here. He goes to his Frostlass, and here I make a mistake. I go for foul play. I think I should have gone for Leaf Blade. Or I'm still not sure what. But he's going to just come back to his own Noctowl. And this foul play isn't going to KO. And he's just going to take down my Shiftry. Just barely. Even if I did Leaf Blade there, I don't think it would have made any difference. This was a losing matchup to begin with. So Frostlass was giving me a lot of trouble. So in a third match, I decide to switch up my team, and I leave out Noctowl to take Empoleon. Empoleon isn't a hard counter, but it does counter Frostlass, although it is soft. Waterfall damage just chunks down Frostlass, and he leads with Seismitoad. Again, this is a losing lead for Empoleon because Earth Power will almost one-shot Empoleon. I get to a Hydro Cannon, but he gets CMP, I think. I still don't know how thick Seismitoad is. Waterfall damage. Empoleon was so crucial in this cup. I get to a waterfall before he gets to Earthquake. I don't know if this was a CMP tie or not. Yes, it was a CMP tie again, but I got CMP this time, I don't know why. I decide to shield. Now I could have just switched to my Shiftry, but his Seismitoad is basically energy form. Anything that comes now will tank a Hydro Cannon from Empoleon. And he doesn't have any other Mud Boy. He goes to his Noctowl and I just trade Hydro Cannon. And I switch to my Bronzong. Now we both are lagging right now. So I got 2 confusions off, so I told him to get 2 wing attacks off. And we are back together. So he gets the energy advantage. He goes for Nightshade. Again, Bronzong does lose in the 1 shield, in the 0 shield, but his Noctowl was low, so I can Psyshock KO him. I didn't want to get hit with another Night Slash. And he switches to Frostless. Now, shields are down, so I just go for Psyshock. It's going to do a lot of damage to Frostless. Frostless is not the bulkiest of mons. Damn, my Bronzong takes it to red HP. And this Shadow Ball is going to KO my Bronzong, but I have health on my Empoleon. I think one Waterfall will KO Frostless at this health. I didn't even need Shiftry this match. Empoleon, MVP. Round number 2 versus Side 006. He changed his in-game name. So he has double steals with cash. So I decide to go with Empoleon. Empoleon beats Bronzong, Whiscash, and Frostless, and with Altaria it's a shielding matchup. Now my Empoleon is very high IVs, it's ranked 10th and it does beat Whiscash. And to pair that up, I decide to go with Poliwrath and Excadrill. I lead with Empoleon and he leads with Whiscash. I just have to shield once and Empoleon will get to a Mud Bomb first. It does a lot of damage. I get to a Hydro Cannon. He shields. I decide to shield, I think. Yes, I decide to shield. And I will get to a second Hydro Cannon. Now, if your Empoleon has lower IVs, I think, I mean the PvP rank, it's not going to get to the second Hydro Cannon. You need a really high IV Empoleon. Now here I decide to come in with my Wrath, and he switches to Altaria. Now Poliwrath with Ice Punch beats Altaria straight up in almost all shields. It can tank even a Skydack. And I get to the second Ice Punch before he gets to Skydack, and this Ice Punch is going to KO Altaria. Now he comes back to his Whiscash. I use Poliwrath as my Mud Boy. A Mud Boy that can beat other Mud Boys. I decide to go for Ice Punch. It doesn't KO his Whiscash and he gets to another Mud Bomb. So I decide to shield here because I do have a bit of energy left. So anyone that comes out, I either Ice Punch or Dynamic Punch, and he has Shift in the back, and no hesitation, I go for straight Dynamic Punch. Dynamic Punch will one-shot Shift. And that was basically a Poliwrath sweep. Second match, I take the same team, again leading with Empoleon, but this time he leads with Altaria. Now Empoleon and Altaria's match is a bit of iffy because Empoleon has to get the Hydro Pump bait and land the Flash Cannon. If you do not get the bait, you lose. So this matchup is very iffy. But with Noctowl, you can just go straight Hydro Cannon and knock Noctowl out. So I decide to shield, switch, and he switches to his Whiscash, and I switch to my Poliwrath. I go for Dynamic Punch, and he gets to Mud Bomb faster. I have trouble getting the excellent on the fighting animation. It's not consistent. So here I go for an Ice Punch. I know he's probably going to block this because he's going to try to preserve his Whiscash, and he shields, and he gets to a Mud Bomb. I think I should have shielded here. I think. Because he probably has Altaria and Shiftry in the back. I am wary of Frostlass, and I don't shield the last Mud Bomb. I decide to preserve my shield. And I decide to farm down his Whiscash. Now that was a mistake. I should have saved my Poliwrath because of his Altaria. I don't know why I didn't do that. And he switches to his own Empoleon, and again another mistake. And I go for Hydro Cannon. I should have just switched there. Huge mistake by me. And I shield here. I know he has Altaria in the back. I should have double shielded my Poliwrath here. Then I could have just swept with my Poliwrath. I go for Aerial Ace. I do miss a bubble. Now later I found out that Mega Horn was probably better because Mega Horn was just buffed the other night. And he goes for Skydeck. Skydeck at this range is going to KO my Skyvalier. I think I should have just Hydro Cannon down that Altaria. If I didn't use the Hydro Cannon before, I would have been able to just double Hydro Cannon. If I hadn't wasted that Hydro Cannon on his Empoleon. And I am thinking that, and his Whiscash just takes me out with Mud Shot with a slither of health. Now this time I take Poliwrath, and he takes Whiscash. He goes for a Mud Bomb. I go for Ice Punch bait. And he falls for the bait. I am probably thinking he's going to shield his Whiscash. So this time I shield my Poliwrath. Again, I'm struggling with the fighting animation. I line the Dynamic Punch. I go for another Ice Punch because I think that he's probably going to double shield his Whiscash. and he does double shield Whiscash. I can tank another Mud Bomb. Thinking back, I should have just shielded that one. Who knows. And again, he gets to a Mud Bomb with a sliver of health. I decide not to shield, and I take the shield advantage, but I do lose the switch advantage. I changed my team to Noctowl this time. He comes back with his Empoleon. Now what I should have done better was I should have shielded my Poliwrath twice. That way I could have just retained the switch advantage. But this Cavalier, so good. I go for Mega Horn this time. Although Mega Horn is resisted, it does decent damage to Altaria. Now here I should have just gone for a release probably. I decide to shield my Cavalier. Now this is bad play, this is trash play. If I just kept my Poliwrath alive, I could have just swept his team. But at that time, I didn't quite realize that I needed my Poliwrath. I thought that I countered Whiscash with my Poliwrath, now I can let my Poliwrath go. So again, another mistake here is going for the air release. I should have countered down that Altaria and just landed that air release on Empoleon. My Noctowl has quite a bit of health left, and his Hydro Cannon isn't going to KO my Noctowl. We are both lagging. He gets to Hydro Cannon. And I land Sky Attack for the win. GG. Round number 3 versus Zulgur9. Venusaur, Alolan Sandslash, Ninetales and Probopass is weak to Bronzong. Basically his whole team is weak to Bronzong, and Altaria is soft but loses to Bronzong, and the only counter to Bronzong he has is Whiscash. So I take Bronzong, Poliwrath, and I pair that up with his Cavalier. I take Bronzong as lead, and he leads with Venusaur. That's a hard win for me. I bring up the switch tray. I know he's going to switch here. I can take down his Ninetales, but I had his Cavalier specifically for his Ninetales, because if my Bronzong went down, I needed his Cavalier to protect my Poliwrath. So here his Cavalier doesn't really serve me any purpose, so that's why I switched to his Cavalier. I am going to counter down his Ninetales. I needed my Cavalier as low as possible. Now anything that comes now is going to take a Mega Horn, and that's gonna be Altaria. And I didn't get to another hair release. I should have under tapped there, and I switched to my Poliwrath here. I shield his Sky Attack. And I go for Ice Punch. He shields. Now he does a fantastic switch here to Venusaur, but still Ice Punch is super effective. It's going to do about 50% of Venusaur's health, and he shields. Now here I try to catch the frenzy plant with Bronzong, and I am able to. And also I have an ice punch charged. He goes for frenzy plant. Even at this health, I go for Psyshock. Psyshock is going to KO Venusaur. And goes to his Altaria. I have a shield. I have Bronzong with energy. It's basically GG at this point. I do shield here because I can just confusion down that Altaria. I didn't want to do another charge of animation with Poliwrath. And I take game number 1. Game 2, I decide to go with the same team, but switching up the flow. I take Empoleon instead of Escavalier this time. Running double steal again. And he comes with Altaria. Now here, if I had Escavalier, it would have been stuck with his Altaria. So Bronzong and Poliwrath both counter Altaria. So I am going to switch to my Bronzong this time. And he switches to his Whiscash, the only counter to Bronzong in his team. Now Bronzong does lose to Whiscash, but with energy again, Bronzong does a lot of damage to one voice. Those confusions hurt a lot. I don't need to shield that. That's probably not going to KO. And I am going to probably get another Psyshock. Now this Psyshock is going to KO his Whiscash. That is the power of Bronzong with energy. A typical Bronzong loses, but with energy, your opponent Whiscash has to burn a shield, or you can take down Whiscash. I decide to let my Bronzong go here, and I decide to farm his Whiscash with my Poliwrath, I think. Yeah, switch to my Poliwrath. I am going to take a Mud Bomb or two, but Poliwrath is just so bulky, I don't need to shield anything. He gets to another Mud Bomb. I shield this time. And I take down his Poliwrath his Whiscash with just Mudshot. Now I decide to Dynamic Punch his Alolan Ninetales. Dynamic Punch is neutral and it is going to hit hard. He shields. I switch to my Empoleon and I instantly go for Hydro Cannon. It does a lot of damage to Alolan Ninetales. Now I have so much residual energy that I can get to a Flash Cannon. So I shield my Empoleon here. And I get to the Flash Cannon. Just barely. Again, I should have under tapped there. I am over tapping quite a bit. I think Hydro Cannon would have KO'd. I'm not sure if Hydro Cannon would have KO'd at that range. But still, I have another Dynamic Punch charged from farming that Whiscash so aggressively. And this Dynamic Punch is going to KO Ninetales. And I take game number 2. Game number 3, same mindset. But this time, I take Noctowl instead of Empoleon, because Whiscash was, I don't know, because Noctowl is better versus Altaria, Empoleon not so great versus Altaria. So I take Noctowl for his Altaria this time. And here he is just going to charm me down. Now if he uses a Psy Shock, he's going to miss one fast attack. So he knows this, so that's why he decides to charm me down here and shield once. If he used a charge move, I think he wouldn't have survived, or he would have been lower. Now I can just come back with my Bronzong, and Bronzong resists all of Ninetales moves, so I don't need to shield. Now here I do lose the lead matchup, but I preserve shield advantage for switch advantage. He switches to his Whiscash now, and I decide to go for Psy Shock. He goes for Mud Bomb, and I decide to take it. He gets to another Mud Bomb, and I don't shield this time either. I go to my Poliwrath, and I get to an Ice Punch. He gets to a Mud Bomb, and again I don't shield. I probably think he has Altaria in the back. And he does have Altaria in the back. Now he does have a shield. I go for straight Ice Punches. I need to get to 2 more Ice Punches. But I don't think I will be able to get to another Ice Punch. Sky Attack. Dragon Breaths just do so much damage. I should have shielded one Mud Bomb. I take now. If I shielded the Mud Bomb, this matchup would have been more clean. And I just barely get to an Ice Punch. Again, if I had shielded that Mud Bomb, this matchup would have been more clean. But still, I take game number 3 with Poliwrath. Round number 4 versus Shabab Q. I am very wary of his Frostlass, so I take Empoleon for Bronzong, Noctowl and Frostlass. And I take Shiftry for his Whiscash and Frostlass. It can also go toe-to-toe with Bronzong. It just walls Bronzong. And I take Noctowl for his Escavalier. I decide to go with Noctowl lead, and he leads with Whiscash. Now Noctowl can tank a Blizzard, so I don't need to worry here. I go for Sky Attack. He shields. He gets to a Mud Bomb. I do not need to shield that. This isn't going to KO Noctowl. Noctowl is just so bulky, and Mud Shots and Mud Bomb basically do no damage to Noctowl. Now here I don't shield because I can farm out his Whiscash. But now I have Empoleon and Shiftry in the back, and both of them are weak to Escavalier. My Noctowl is down, so I decide to take down his Whiscash with just Snarls. Now here I made a mistake. I shield. I knew he wasn't at a blizzard, but he could have blizzarded me if he wanted. But it's gonna be a mud bomb now, and I don't know why I shield again. I thought it would be a blizzard. No way that would have been a blizzard. I don't know why I shielded there. And he comes back with his Cavalier. Both of my mons are Victor's Cavalier. This is basically GG at this point. Small brain moment for me. I thought he was going to pick Frostlass. I was so wary of Frostlass that I made my whole team weak to this Cavalier, and he has Shift Tree in the back. Now before Empoleon could win versus Shift Tree, because in the end it was a CMP tie, but tiebreakers were live during this cup, and Shift Tree would win the CMP tie to Hydro Pump. And now Shift Tree KOs Empoleon, but still Shift Tree takes heavy damage. He decides to use up his energy. That is good for me. And again I miscalculate. He wins the CMP tie versus Shift Tree, so his Shift Tree probably has more attack than my Shift Tree. Now I should have farmed out his Shift Tree. I don't know if I could or not. And at this health, Foul Play isn't going to KO his Cavalier. Got close, yet so far away. He takes down Shift Tree. Now this time, I switch up the flow. I take his Cavalier as lead. And he leads with Noctowl. Again I lose the lead. So I switch to my own Noctowl. And he switches to his Frostlass. He brought Frostlass this time. When I subbed out Empoleon, he brought Frostlass. Ingenious play by him. He just predicted me so hard. I go for Nightshade. I should have gone for Sky Attack this time. Now I just gave up at this point. I didn't even shield the Avalanche. I let my Noctowl go. I basically sacked my Noctowl. And now I am going to come back with my Shift Tree. I think I do have energy shield advantage. I come back with my Shift Tree. And that was probably a CMP tie. I got to Foul Play. He shields, and he goes for it's an Avalanche. I need to shield this, and I do. And Leaf Blade at this health is going to KO. It's a good thing he switched to his Shift Tree, because I have his Cavalier in the back. Now I switch to my Cavalier, and I decide to farm him down with counters. I can tank a Foul Play. I need my Cavalier low so that he can farm with his Noctowl. You'll see what happens here. This is probably the best game I ever played in my life. Now here, I go for Mega Horn. And this ends up being a CMP tie. You'll see now. Here, this ends up being a CMP tie. And we talked afterwards that he didn't intend to press Sky Attack. Here, he told me that he didn't press Sky Attack. What I think is it was probably a misstep, and I get to a Foul Play. But my Shift Tree, he can just wing attack down my Shift Tree at this health. And you see what happens here. He gets to Sky Attack. Now here, I just told him GG. The game is over. I think that game is over. because I think that after this a wing attack is going to KO Shiftry, but something happens. I get a snarl off and it doesn't KO Shiftry and I get to a leaf blade. Crazy. I thought that Shiftry is going to die from fast attacks, but I take game number 2 with just Shiftry. I was shaking after this match, and again I take, and in match number 3 I take Empoleon, and I get Whiscash as his lead. My Empoleon can win against this Whiscash. And I switch to my Noctowl to probably tank a Mud Bomb, but he didn't, and he misclicks and switches to his own Shiftry. He probably has and he shields. Again, misplay from him. I can tank a foul play. I have Shiftry and Empoleon with energy in the back. He probably has Frostlass. Even if he had came back with his Frostlass, I would have just switched to my Empoleon or Shiftry and taken the match. Now this was a miss-switch from him. Now he comes back with his own Knockdown. Oh, he didn't take Frostlass this match. He took Knockdown. Switching up the plays. So now I have Empoleon with energy and a Shiftry in the back. I don't need to shield this, I can just come back with my Empoleon now. Noctowl has done its job, his Shiftry is down. So here I come back with Empoleon and I go for straight Hydro Cannon. He shields. He's probably going to switch to Whiscash, and I switch to Shiftry, but he gets off his charge move. I shield and I instantly switch to Shiftry. Here he gets, it's probably going to be a Mud Bomb. Yes, it is a Mud Bomb, but I thought I didn't risk it. If that was a Blizzard, I would have just thrown away this game. So I didn't take any risks, I just shielded that. I knew it was going to be a Mud Bomb, but still, no risks. And he has Noctowl in the back. I go for straight foul play. Now Noctowl is just so bulky that foul play doesn't KO at this level. And he gets to a Sky Attack. I have Empoleon with health in the back. One Waterfall tap. Yeah, one Waterfall and it takes out Noctowl. Now this was 4 rounds from the 7 and I am going to split this video into 2 parts. And the rest of the video is going to be part 2 of my Fusion Cup sweep. So thanks for watching, stay tuned for part 2.